Hi everybody and welcome back yet again to another drum playthrough review. Hold on, before we continue, I'm just going to change the lights again because I always forget to do that in between videos. Hopefully all are having a fantastic day. My name is Nick. I'm a multi-instrumentalist and mixing and mastering artist, if you will. And the reason why we like to do videos like this is because we like to learn and benefit from drummers who are much better than us and glean technique from drummers who are way better than we'll ever be. So that way we can use that technique for ourselves and become better musicians. And we have a legend of a drummer that we're reviewing today. If you guys have been around the channel for a little bit, you'll know that I've talked about my origins in the drumming that I play nowadays, at least. My first drum teacher ever was a jazz drum teacher. He used to play for the church that I used to go to and get lessons at, and he was an absolutely excellent drummer. His name was Jeremiah Queen. And the one thing Jeremiah told me I should do is go home and watch a lot of Buddy Rich. I had no idea who that name was. I was like, who's Buddy Rich? And he said, believe me, he'll blow your mind. And by God, he was right. Buddy Rich blew my mind. So who is Buddy Rich? Buddy Rich is a very famous jazz drummer. In fact, he's considered to be one of the greatest drummers that has ever graced the face of this earth. Known for his insane timing, his insane chops, and his absolutely mind-boggling drum solos. This man has been heralded as probably one of the greatest drummers to grace the face of the earth. And reasonably so. He put out hundreds and hundreds of songs, lots of different solo albums, and his drumming has honestly set the standard as far as what a drum solo should be. Anybody that you see practicing a bunch of crazy chops or anything like that, it's all thanks because of him. Anytime you walk into Guitar Center and there's always that one dude that's always doing some crazy chops on the electric drum kits, it's because of Buddy Rich. This guy's had such a massive influence on drumming that drumming will never be the same now that he's not there, but also drumming will never be the same because of what kind of an impact he's made on it. So we're going to check out something that I was lucky enough to find. It's a re-enhanced video of one of his most incredible drum solos we've ever heard, known as the Impossible Drum Solo. Just saying that makes it sound absolutely insane. But this man, straight up, it's probably impossible to play this. I don't know if anybody else can play this except for him. He made this whole thing himself. He rehearsed it. He did all that stuff himself. And I found this re-enhanced footage of it that we can watch and we can enjoy together today. This is my first time watching it. It's in 4K, so that's going to be great. And I'm honestly excited to see this because I didn't know this was a video that existed on the internet, but I was very aware of Buddy Rich, and he was definitely one of my inspirations back starting out because I wanted to be a shredder like Buddy Rich. And now look at me, I'm playing death metal. But you get what I'm saying. He was an inspiration for me regardless. So we're going to check this out and we're going to see what we got. All right, so without further ado, ladies and gents, we're going to get into this. So we're going to watch one of my childhood drumming heroes do this impossible drum solo.
The great Mr. Buddy Rich, right from over here.
It's an 8-minute video, by the way. We're going to watch it uninterrupted. We're not going to pause the video whatsoever. We're going to make comments, but we're not going to pause the video or anything like that. See, he's got a little splash symbol there, too. Just watching this man brings back memories. He's got his snare drum turned away from him, so. That's a very classic. You notice, too, what he's doing with his other hand as he's playing that. He's muting it with his hand. He really did lead this entire band, which is crazy. Big band jazz is an insanely crazy subgenre of jazz. First of all, let's just take a look at some of the rhythms that he's going on here. He's just keeping it real nice and consistent, right on the hi-hat, and he's also just filling in those ghost notes with the snare, while adding the accents in every so often. Rudiment fill is added in as well. He's also not hitting his cymbals too hard. He's keeping it real nice and loose. Buzz roll. You don't see a lot of people doing buzz rolls anymore. See, I used to listen to stuff like this all the time when I was younger. And then I found death metal, and it changed ever since. Now I listen to breakdowns. But I still appreciate it. I love this style of music. It's just the big band jazz feel. It's great. More sax solo. They're like really focusing on the sax solo. I just want to see what Buddy Rich is doing, dude. But just listening right now to the drums, I'm hearing he's keeping the rhythm very tight and consistent. Oh, very expressive. He's using a very large variation. Oh, wow. He's using a very large variation of drum movements in here. Flams, drags. I'm seeing paradiddles and Swiss Army triplets in here. Six-stroke roll right there. Buzz rolls, double strokes. But this isn't just lazy shredding too. He's keeping it very musical, and also he's adding accents in there that help you build a feel of what's going on, not just mindless shredding. That's what made Buddy Rich great. He's hitting the bass drum with his stick. Come on, dude. Who does that nowadays? Nobody. That's insane speed. Oh, wow. There we go. Sorry about the jump cut. The audio went out. I wanted to zoom back real quick and just take a look and see what he's doing here with this hi-hat. So watch when this comes over to the hi-hat part, when he's... Not this part here. This part here. He's using... I'm just going to pause it here because I have to. I can't. I said I was going to do it uninterrupted, but I have to. He's gripping the hi-hat while having the stick held with traditional grip. But he's gripping it at the same time. He's just popping those two fingers while he's doing this, so that way he gets a nice single stroke roll going on there. No one does that. No one does that. That is so unique and inventive. That's crazy. See, that's how you know it. Look at this man. He doesn't need that many effect bells because he's so expressive with his sound. My gosh. A blast beat. It was Buddy Rich that invented the blast beat. Y'all heard that. That's insane. Yeah, one of his people just adjusting what was falling away. Yeah. There's a reason why they call this the impossible drum solo, because I guarantee you there's nobody else that can play this. You also see there's a movie that's out there that's very highly inspired by Buddy Rich and this particular drum solo. Oh, dude. Do you recognize this at all? A lot of metal drummers, too, have him to thank for inspiring so much of the genre. The blast beat, come on, man. That's insane. What a beautiful performance, dude. And he is sweating. At the time of doing this, he was like 60. He was like 55, 60. He was an old man. Not too old, but he was an older man by comparison. That's crazy. He's tired too, man. You can already tell. Wow. There is no one who's going to be able to be like Buddy Rich. He was definitely one of his kind. Let's break that down a little bit, because there's a lot of stuff to really take into effect here. First of all, insane technique, insane speed, insane control, insane technique that he's using as well. He's using a lot of really avant-garde stuff that you don't really see a whole lot of people do anymore, or even did back in the day. Like that little trick he's using with his hi-hat and then gripping it underneath and using... That just blows my mind. You'll notice the whole time, too, he's still keeping very loose. He's not, like, you know, really tight with his rhythm, especially when he's speeding up or anything like that. He's still keeping very loose and still, you know, he's able to just flop around his arms while he's still playing. That's really good. You don't want to be too tight when you're playing, because, honestly, that's going to cause some harm to your playing. You're not going to be able to get that speed. You're not going to be able to get those chops like he's getting in this video. Something that I noticed really a whole lot of drummers aren't doing nowadays, especially that he's doing right in this video. The first part of the song, he's not worried about doing all these crazy chops and standing out a whole lot. He's keeping time. He's doing the basics in the jazz band to keep the time and support everybody else. And then the later half of the song is when he does the impossible drum solo. What's more important than anything is learning how to keep time, keep rhythm, and keep everybody else on point. If you can't keep everyone else on point, then you're not going to be able to do your job as a drummer. And then how can you expect to shred if you can't keep yourself on time, let alone the rest of the band? Something that I know for sure that he definitely did in order to achieve that speed was years of practice and playing slow. It takes years and years in order to achieve speed and insane chops like that. Lots of practice. I remember my first time I walked into a Guitar Center was when I was really close to the time I first started playing. I was probably a year into playing. And there was one of the guys that was working there. He was just playing around on one of the E-kits, and he was absolutely shredding. He was doing some really crazy stuff, and I was just like, I remember the dude's name too. Dude's name was Panda. And I remember I looked at Panda and I was just like, how can you do that? He was like, I've been playing drums for 20 years. You know how old this man was? This man was like 26. He's been playing drums ever since he was a little child. And it's something that's been his passion, that's fueled his job, that he's been able to keep doing, you know, all sorts of crazy stuff with. Now he lives in Texas and he's off balling and all that, but like, dude, it's absolutely crazy. And then years and years and years later, I remember I would come in and we would hang out and talk a little bit and just chat. And then I remember there was one day I sat down and we were, you know, I was like, you know, yeah, I'm mostly a metal drummer and whatnot. And I was showing him some blast beats and whatnot. And then Panda decided to show up, and Panda told me about his metal drumming days. See, not only did this man learn how to play stuff like bossa nova, jazz, and metal and all that, but he was able to combine it all so that way he can make his drumming style unique and beautiful. That's something that this man did here. Buddy Rich not only was just a jazz player, but he also played all sorts of other stuff before playing jazz. That's how he revolutionized the genre. They didn't have metal and rock really back in the time. But what they did have was they had stuff like bossa nova, swing, ragtime. Studying all of those different styles is greatly going to influence your drumming, because you're going to be able to take the bits and pieces of all these little places and, you know, different subgenres and whatnot, and use that to build your style and build who you are as a drummer. So that really did help, you can tell, Buddy Rich be able to play the stuff that he plays now, or used to play at least. Unfortunately, he passed away many, many years ago. but he was an absolutely excellent drummer. He was very loose in his technique. He didn't strain at all when he was doing any of it. You can tell. Very relaxed and very, very efficient, very on time. He didn't lose sight of his rhythms or anything like that. It was an excellent performance. It was an excellent performance. Indeed, an impossible solo. So what are some things you can take away from this? Well, for one, when you practice slow. Keep loose. Experiment by learning other styles so that way it can greatly affect your drumming in a very positive manner. Also, try new things. Don't just stick to one little thing and one certain technique and then just do that for the rest of your time. Try something else out. Try something that's new. Try something that's avant-garde that you don't think has really been done before. Because at the end of the day, it will make you stand out and you might find a more efficient way to play something. And it can also be a signature thing for you. So try it out. Try something that's new and try something that's different. And with all that being said, y'all, that's going to be the end of this video. What an excellent performance by Buddy Rich. So here's just a few things now that you guys can do to support me. So for one, you can like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. You can comment down below what you thought of Buddy Rich's playthrough. You can also check out the links I have in the bio for my Spotify and my band page and the playlist that I have with videos very similar to this. And with all that being said, y'all, thanks for tuning in and stopping by. It's been great having you. Hopefully I'll see y'all in the next video. So cheers and have a good one.